listening to The Cell on WGRN 94.1, brought to you by the Faith Thomas Foundation. I'd like to welcome back our listeners to our show this week. And wow, it's been a crazy weekend with this weather. I mean, just being so nice. But yet, everyone remember, they call this fool's weather. So you be out there with your jackets on, and the next thing you know, you end up with the flu or pneumonia. So just be careful and remember that this type of weather can get you sick, and make sure that you dress appropriately. I just had to say that because I've been wanting to run outside with just a little jacket or something on, and I'll be that one that'll end up getting sick. So that's the reason why I'm letting everybody know, don't let this weather fool you. Just as we always, before we get started, I like to say hello to everyone in the studio. So I'm going to start out with my producer for today. That happens to be Mr. Ernest Kelly, my brother from another mother.
Good evening, everyone.
And then I also have with me Miss Katie Pettiford. She's nodding her head hello. You know, Katie's my shy one, right, guys? And we got a good show today. We happen to have a guest that has decided and graced us with coming back. And that's Diandra Gordon. Hello, Miss Gordon.
Hello.
I'm so glad that you decided to come back with us. I enjoy seeing you.
Yes, you're wonderful too.
She's a beautiful woman. Woman. So, with that being said, her personality goes along with it too. So, of course, I always enjoy holding conversations with you, dear heart.
Thank you. Same to you. I think your family, we just don't know yet.
You look know like something?
Well, we look alike.
You know, we got to have that test done.
Probably. I don't know what test it'd be, but yeah. We don't need no test. We can just claim it.
Yeah, you know something? I believe that, because just like how I got a brother from another mother over here, you can turn out to be my sister from another mother.
All righty, there we go.
Right,
That's done. It's done.
It's inked in.
Write it down.
So, Diandra, what we're going to, we decided that we were going to talk about MS again, because I think there's a lot of listeners out there that still have a lot of misconception about MS, in regards to some of the signs and symptoms regarding if they have the disease or other diseases which are similar to it, and they not realizing that they actually need to get more testing done to determine whether or not if they do have MS. So can you start off with telling our listeners, what is MS?
So I'm going to start off by just, giving a disclaimer. I am not a medical doctor.
Wait a second. But
yes.
Didn't you just tell me you got what are you a doctor of?
I am a doctor. I have a PhD, which is a doctor in philosophy, not a medical doctor.
Okay.
In human development and family science.
Okay,
so I am not practicing medicine, okay, guys? But, so my experience with MS comes from researching it because my sister has MS. Okay. So, learning through her journey is what my perspective is. So I did a lot of research so we could understand, especially in times when my sister was unable to do that research for herself. So that's my experience. But MS stands for multiple sclerosis, and it's a disease that affects your central nervous system. So your body basically is autoimmune disease as well. So your body basically attacks itself. Mm-hmm. So some of your healthy tissue, your body attacks like the myelin sheath around your cells, so they don't communicate well with each other. And so that affects how you live. Your central nervous system controls your entire body. So how you see, how you move, how you breathe, all of those neurons and axons are connected in your central nervous system. And so that's why MS can show up in many different ways for different people.
Okay. So your experience,
yes,
with the disclaimer that you're not a doctor.
Yes.
But however, your experience come as a caregiver in a support system.
For sure.
You do have a lot, to share in that area. You don't need as you say, to be a doctor to understand those particular areas that you do have knowledge in.
Right.
And so with that, that's like you say, you got your knowledge from experience.
Experience, and I looked it up, but I did not go to medical school for it. So
yeah, but So how old is your sister now?
She is, what month is this? This is February. She's 24.
Okay.
She was diagnosed at 17.
At 17?
Yes. So.
And what were some of the things that happened again that led y'all on that journey to that path to discover that she did have MS?
So I actually remember when she was younger, she complained very randomly of her like stomach itching in random places, and we didn't think anything about it. It would just come and go, so we just let it go. But when she was 17, she was coming to visit me. I was away at school, and she experienced some numbness in her hand, and it had happened for a month or so beforehand, and then by the time she came to visit me, it had spread to the whole half of her body. And then when they got back home, my mother and her, it spread all the way up to her face, so like she couldn't feel one side of her face. So for a while, before it reached her face, she's a dancer, so she was dancing with the glove on one side of her hand, because it kind of just felt like her hands were just very cold, or she couldn't feel, it was just numbness. And so for people who aren't diagnosed with MS or some other type of illness or disease, when your hand is numb, it's like related to you being cold, or you set on your hand or something like that, that kind of, restricted the blood flow, and so your hand is numb. But for her, it was related to MS. We didn't know at the time. And then eventually when it spread up to the side of her face where she couldn't feel the side of her face, we decided to go to the hospital. And she went to a hospital for children, and they told her that she was stressed. And at that time she was in high school. And she was taking college courses, but she was not stressed at all. She didn't think she was stressed either. And so my mother was very persistent in understanding just the medical world. She's a medical administrator. And so it just didn't make sense that my sister was just stressed. Like, no, you don't lose feeling in the whole side of your body from being stressed. And so what my mother decided to be more persistent and get some other information and knowledge to figure out what it really was. So she ended up going to get some other tests. Her primary care provider as well thought that she was not stressed, and that we should figure out what else is going on. And so they referred us to some other doctors. She got some testing done, and eventually we ended up in a clinic for multiple sclerosis, and a specialty clinic. And at that time we didn't know where we were or what we were there for. We knew the location, but not that it was a clinic for MS. And so we found out that day when we got into the doctor's office that they thought she had MS, and he wrote out the scan and the screen, and he had her brain up on the screen, and we saw the white spots in her brain. And at that time, that's when they confirmed that this was her diagnosis. We think that she has MS. And so my sister's reaction was she was numb. Her face was numb, her hand was numb, but she was inside. She was numb for a moment. It was shocking to her. So my mother and I, we just fired off with questions. And so, but my sister was very quiet. And at that time, all we knew of MS, we had one person at our church, and she went from being a greeter and usher at the door, smiling and greeting everybody when they came in the door, to being in a wheelchair in the course of a few months. And so that's all we knew. And so we decided that we were going to, stick to the journey and figure out where and what we could go, but also that was not going to be her fate. So
yeah, I know that they some of the stuff that I was reading was talking about some of the misconceptions for MS is that the life expectancy is real short and that it's fatal. And I guess back in the day, they didn't know how to really handle MS, but with the way that things are right now, I guess it could be something like maybe an average of 7 years less than what an average person is. So I think that's really
promising. That's awesome.
Great. You know. And then one of the other things was, I guess, problems with managing your medication and the disease complications, but also too with good management, healthy eating, healthy diet, and managing your medication and stuff. That's just like with anything that you do in life. I mean, I'm one to talk. I'm a diabetic. You know what I'm saying? I don't do everything it is that I'm supposed to do. So I keep telling myself that as a diabetic, you know, you want to make sure that I'm trying to eat healthy and exercise and take my medicines correctly, which will extend my life. So I'm sure it's the same thing as an MS patient.
Yes, and yes, and I was going to say it may be more sensitive, but some of the repercussions can be very severe depending on what type of medicine you have and what type of MS you have. So my sister has the relaxing remittance kind, so then she can have a flare-up, as they call it, or relapse is what they call it, and so her symptoms will be very high. So it's when her body is actually attacking itself, and it can show up in her wherever, it depends on where it attacks, but it could be debilitating. So one of my sister's relapses, she went from talking maybe 6 hours later to she couldn't talk, and it looked like it's similar to a stroke.
Yeah, so you're saying flare-ups, that's just like she's normal 1 minute and then, or for a few days, and then all of a sudden she'll have a flare-up, and then her whole body just shuts down.
Yeah, and it just depends on the kind and how her body reacts. So one of my sister's relapses, it kind of progressed over the month, but it just started with something really small. Like she would complain about numbness in her leg or something, but it wasn't distracting from her daily life. But then they would just increase, and at that time she wasn't on her medicine. But it can show up in many different ways. So it was just a little hint, and then eventually, like in the course of 6 hours, that was it.
Okay. You said your sister's 24 now, and I guess one of the misconceptions is that people that have MS will always end up using a wheelchair or walker or anything like that. Does your sister does she sometimes use it with her flare-ups, or does she use one of those?
So with MS, with her relapses, it really depends. So when it's permanent damage, when your body attacks itself, it's permanent damage. But depending on how your brain reacts to it, it can rebuild some of those connections. Okay. So doctors don't necessarily know how you'll come out of it. But right now, she is not in a wheelchair. She's actually dancing again. She had to relearn how to walk for one of her relapses, but she's dancing. Classes? She teaches on Thursdays now at Brittenell Recreation Center at 7 something. 7? Don't quote me.
Brittenell.
Northish behind Ohio Dominican.
Okay. What type of dancing does she teach?
She teaches African dance, but she does all different types of dancing. But she loves West African dance.
Okay. I know Trent Clark does line dancing.
Oh, okay.
Out that way.
My mom does, line dancing and
stepping. Yeah, so she probably knows Trent if she goes to that particular.
Yeah, she just started teaching there in this last session. So. Okay.
Yeah. Well, she might see me, because I know another friend of mine that goes there is trying to get me to go.
Yeah, she does children and adults. You should come and see. Okay. The walking miracle, as someone called her the other day when she danced at church yesterday.
Okay. Well, we got to take our little identification break here. This is The Cell. And we'd like to thank you for listening to WGRN 94.1 FM. There's a few things that the Faith Thomas Foundation have coming up here, and I want to just kind of go down through that for you. We happen to have on April the 13th, which is a Saturday, we're having our 5th annual Bowl for Sickle Cell fundraiser. So hopefully our listeners out there will log onto our website or log onto our Facebook page and register and come. Have a day of fun with your families and friends, so I can walk up and down the aisles and talk a little junk, start a little stuff with everybody in their teams. We have first place, second place, and third place trophies, and we also have medals for the kids. It's going to be a day of fun. We provide pizza and soda, and I'm hoping that a lot of you guys out there will come and help support us this year. In addition to that, on April the 20th, which is the weekend after that, the Faith Thomas Foundation will be hosting a wellness and safety fair at Woodward Park Community Center. So it's open to the public. Both events are open to the public, and we're hoping that you will come out and enjoy, get a lot of good information about wellness and health, and there's going to be a lot of promotional items and stuff out there. In addition to that, on April July 13th. We have another wellness and safety fair, and that's going to be on the Lowe's parking lot. We'll get a little bit more deeper into that when that time gets a little closer. And our last but not least, don't forget in September, the month of sickle cell, the Faith Thomas Foundation will be hosting the 6th annual Red Diamond Gala. That information will be posted in June. And so just stay posted, and we'll start sending that stuff out there on our website and on Facebook page. When we're talking about MS, there's a song that really kind of inspired me, and I want to play it. I heard it today, and it's Adele, and it's Someone to Love Like You. And when you think about MS and all the stuff that you have to go through, and then your caregivers and your support system, that song just resonates so much with me when I was thinking about what our topic was going to be today. Because a person that is going through anything needs someone like Adele is talking about in this song. So I hope you enjoy this song just as much as I do.
I heard that you're settled down, that you found a girl and you're married now. I heard that your dreams came true. Guess she gave you things I didn't give to you. Oh, friend, why are you so shy? Ain't like you to hold back or hide from the light. I hate to turn up out of the blue uninvited, but I couldn't stay away, I couldn't fight it. I had hoped you'd see my face and that you'd be reminded that for me it isn't over. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I think I'll remember you say sometimes it lasts and loves, but sometimes it hurts instead. Sometimes it lasts and loves, but sometimes it hurts instead. You know how the time flies. Only yesterday was the time of our lives. We were born and raised in a summer haze, bound by the surprise of our glory days. I hate to turn up out of the blue uninvited, but I couldn't stay away, I couldn't fight it. I had hoped you'd see my face and that you'd be reminded that for me it isn't over. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I think I'll remember you say sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Nothing compares, no worries or cares, regrets and mistakes, their memories made. Who would have known how bittersweet this would taste? Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you. Don't forget me, I beg, I'll remember you say sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. instead.
I'm feeling so much love right now. If those of you who can't see me, I mean, my crew here can see me. I'm grinning from ear to ear because that is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. And whenever you're in need of just feeling love, that's a good song to listen to. That really is a good song to listen to. Did you enjoy that, Diane?
I did. That was wonderful. I haven't heard Adele in a long time.
Okay. Well, you know, the Faith Thomas Foundation talked about some of the things that were coming up with us. Can you tell us some of the things that's coming up with you with M.O.R.E?
M.O.R.E. You got it. Yes. So we have a nonprofit, M.O.R.E. Inc. stands for Motivate Others to Reach Excellence. And so our next program has to do with What Color is Your Ribbon? Is one of our flagship programs. And we highlight different illnesses that plague the minority community. And so that's kind of how we met as well, with sickle cell was one of the previous ones, as well as multiple sclerosis. And so this next one that we chose is lupus. And so there are countless, well, the number they say is 5 million people around the world that are affected by lupus. One of the reasons why we chose lupus was because it was one of those illnesses that we hear about and know that people have but don't know much about it. And so we wanted to take this opportunity for us to learn more, but then also for others to learn more as well about what the illness is and then what the journey looks like, and provide that platform for others who have lupus. And so we have that event, and that's on May 18th, and it's pretty much an all-day event. We start in the morning with a breakfast around 10, and then we end the day around 4 o'clock with a production, kind of just displaying what the journey of lupus is. And so we also have a paint workshop on March 30th. It's a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, and that's at Afrocentric. Everything we're doing is at Columbus Afrocentric Early College. And so what that is, we just really like to combine art. We think it's a universal language. And so we combine art with education as well as health and the community. And so we provide that platform for people to come out and create and learn more about the illness and then share their journey as well.
Okay, are you going to sell your art this year?
Yes, ma'am. We were talking about that.
I know. I
know, right? We're actually planning to do an event in July specifically to sell the artwork that we have from our events.
And that'd be great. I mean, that money can be donated, because when we had the sickle cell, and I started asking, can I purchase some of this art? Do you have any of this on sale? And you said no. And I said, okay. So when I come there this time for the lupus, you're going to have some prices up there so that anybody that comes, if they do want to purchase the art, they have the opportunity to do that.
Yes, so they can purchase that day, and then we'll have a big culminating event in July because we still have art from MS as well as sickle cell. So that's going to be something that we incorporate every year, is an art sale in July, and we'll highlight the ribbons that we did for the year, and then also give an opportunity for all of the different ribbons to come together and kind of experience each other and their journey. So
I think that'd be great. So I like the part of purchasing the art and knowing that some of that money will go towards a donation, or
yes, we are a nonprofit 501c3, so it's a donation that'll help us continue the work that we're doing.
I'm telling you, the Faith Thomas Foundation really truly knows about that. So.
I know, and you do a beautiful gala. I had the privilege of coming this last time, so if you all are available, I suggest you come. It's in June every year, right?
September,
okay.
September 6th this year.
Okay, September 6th this year. And so come
at
on
the
out.
Boathouse.
Oh, it's at the Boathouse. Yay. And you can dress up and wear your fancy dress, or you can wear a cocktail dress. I wore African. I have my African today too, but I fit in. It was fun. It was beautiful experience and good food. So come.
Wow, she just did a Thank you for that plug.
No problem. It's the truth. I don't lie. I'll just be quiet.
Thank you. So that means I'll see you this year.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
In September. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
God willing. I plan to be there.
On all of us. You never know what God has in store for us, what's around that corner. So you have to live every day as though it's a blessing, and not to forget to tell people that you love them. During intermission, Adele got me so happy just even thinking about it. I had to turn around to my two little producers and him and say, "When's the last time I told y'all I love y'all?"
She did.
Know? And I'm full of, Adele just made me so much full of love. I even got some love for you since you're my new sister and everything like that, you know. So I'm just full of love right now. Anybody come around me, I'll probably be saying, "Hey, can I have a hug? Let me blow you a kiss." I'm just full of it. But and I'm glad Ernie don't got the mic when I said I'm full of it, because Ernie would have said something on that one. So I'm glad he ain't got the mic over that way. You too nice, Ernie. Not nice.
He's producing today.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So I'm glad he over there, but he laughing his head off. I mean, I just walked my foot right on in there.
I could imagine what he's gonna say too.
Hey, glad you over there. Katie too quiet to talk, so I ain't got to worry about that stuff. Okay, let's get back to you know, one of the things that I thought I had also read, because like you, I'm not a doctor, but that I guess lupus kind of, not that it mirrors MS, but sometimes there's a mistake or possibility of, what do you call it, where the two diseases, they don't really know one or the other one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they do have some similar symptoms because they're both autoimmune diseases. So it's when your body is attacking itself. I don't know specifically how the body attacks itself with lupus. I know lupus is often confused with cancer as well. Some of those symptoms are similar, but it affects your daily living. I know lupus is associated with pain. And so it is, it's important to continue and be diligent about your health and your body. And if you don't think that's right or something is wrong, go get it checked out. Like, it's okay to be wrong. You could just be feeling off that day. That's fine. But it's better that you know that you're just feeling off for the day than you not knowing that you have some illness that could really affect the rest of your life if you don't get it treated.
Yeah.
So make sure you find out what it is. Do your research. I know we have all this internet and Dr. Google and all that stuff. So
WebMD.
Yeah, WebMD. And we get we call ourselves doctors once we get done with Google. So get the information and then be diligent. If your doctor said you don't have anything, but you feel like you do, I mean, of course, don't be obsessive about it, but trust yourself and look more into it, and then take care of yourself. Once you understand what you have and what you know, it's your responsibility to do better. Yeah. As long just try.
Well, your sister is very blessed to have you and your mother and her family behind her, because you do need a good support system. And you do need those people who are going to push to continue to find out what's going on. Hopefully, you will decide to come back.
Oh, of course, anytime.
I already even told her, I said, since she's done got this ribbon stuff going on, and she does it every so often, of course, we'd love to have you come on to, share with us, because that is information for the community that the community needs to know. So it's time for us to wrap this program up here. So thank you, Ernie. Thank you, Katie. And thank you, Diandra.
Thank you.
This is Felice. Peace out. Well, that's the end of today's show. I want to thank you for listening to The Cell on WGRN 94.1. You can find us on Facebook or at faiththomasfoundation.org for more information on our upcoming events. Join us every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. here on WGRN.